Okay, people. I think I am live now. So what we're gonna be doing today is that I'm gonna play against both teams of the Challengers Tour. There's a team Kramnik and there's a team Polgar, and it's the competition is basically between them. So I'm obviously gonna try and win my games, but the competition is to see whose team will get the most points. But I will not focus on that. Obviously, I will try and play some good 3-minute games and see if I can provide some entertainment as well. And my first opponent is WGM Jiner Zhu from China. I think, if I remember correctly, she's about 2400. Obviously, the rating here on the site is represented by the fact that that she hasn't played a lot of Blitz here. Anyway, I won't keep her waiting any longer, and let's go. And now I did the old trick where she made her first move, and then I wait. Game was originally supposed to start at 8 sharp, and now I waited for her to make a move. Okay, so I waited to make a move till she was gone, evidently. So I will let my clock run a little bit to make it a bit more fair. I am, after all, here to teach the kids some chess lessons, not to hustle them if I can afford not to. So I'll be going for a Najdorf here against the youth, which seems like a questionable strategy to say the least, but there you go. E6. Yeah, she's thinking a bit here. Usually have the choice between G4, Bishop E2, and F3. Okay, so she just goes for a more standard Scheveningen type of position, which I guess is reasonable. King H1, I'm not so sure about. I think you should go A4 there and sort of force Knight C6. Yeah, she's 2400. Okay, A3. Then I'm getting easy development. Bishop B7, Bishop F3, Knight D7, and I should be fine. Next, I'm thinking of moves like Rook C8 and also Bishop C5. Knight B6 to C4 is also an option. G4, then I would go Knight C5. So as long as she's not in time to do that, then I have some positional advantage. And Queen D2 is really inviting Knight B6. I don't see any reason not to go for it. Knight C4. Guess I'm just gonna keep developing. Rook FD8. Perhaps intending D5 and Knight E4 at some point. May work tactically. But in general, it's hard for her to find active ideas here. Yeah. B3 clearly is the plan, so I think it's time for me to strike in the center. So we get a sort of a turbocharged French for me here, where I already had knights on e4 and c4, and that clearly gives me a pretty pretty serious head start. c3 I guess is the best chance, but yeah, b3 I think I'll just go knight a5. Or I can take first as well. Maybe that's even more precise. Don't know what is more precise. Anyway, let's be a little bit more flexible and go knight a5. If rook b1 I can take on d4 or even knight b3. The point is, after bishop d4, cd4, this one is attacked right at the end. And that, by the way, is the first arrow I've ever drawn. It's a milestone. Okay, knight b3. Should be winning on time here regardless, but I'm gonna try and finish in style. e3, opening up for this bishop towards the king, and now, oh, that was a bit too much. So my first arrow was good, the second and third not so much. Rook a2 is the only chance here. But I think my opponent, she's probably clearly better at classical than Blitz, and in the end this was fairly comfortable for me. Okay, so let's now see if I can open this new window successfully. I think I actually could. That's amazing. My next, so by the way, I'm gonna be alternating which team that I play. So Shu was from Team Polgar, and now we have Praggnanandhaa, who's gonna be playing the next Champions Chess Tour event. I think he's only 15, third youngest GM of all time, and the winner of the first Challengers event that was, I think, a couple of weeks ago. So he's obviously gonna be a very strong opponent. And he goes for the London. Wow. That was unexpected. What should I do? Let me go for my old favorite. The system that seriously, I've actually run into this in some banter blitz before. So annoying. Okay, whatever. It's not that this line is absolutely great for white, it's just that I was hoping to play a more sort of classical game, but you can't always get what you want. What should I do? A6, preparing b5 maybe? Trying to stay flexible. Maybe d5 is the move? I guess I can take it. d5, knight e7, I guess e4. You can go e4 now as well. Yeah, whatever. We're trying to play a complicated game here, but I have a feeling, considering the strength of my opponent in this particular game, that I may eventually regret it, or I may not. You know. Anyway, what I'm doing here is somewhat artificial. But if I can get moves like knight g6 and b4, I should be fine. And a3 feels a little bit soft to me. Now we'll go b4 next to develop my bishop with tempo. And if d6, there's always fe6. e5 is not on the cards because of knight d5. And if knight e2, I will probably castle and look to the future with at least some confidence. So bishop c4 was probably clever. Now if bishop c3, queen c3, knight e4, there is there's queen g7. Then I can give a check on g5. Also e d5 is possible. E d5, bishop d5, queen g5. Doesn't quite seem to work. Okay, I guess I'll just castle. If fe6, fe6, bishop e6, maybe I can sack the queen. Could be, but I think I'll just go king h8. And with my lead in development, it seems fine with threats of knight e4 as well. So quite logically, he doesn't go for it. But obviously I need to speed up. Okay, we'll go h5. I think if e5, knight g4 is fine. But I'm a little bit worried that my attack on the queen side is not really getting going. Queen e4, I think. Oh, I just blundered. Oh. Huge damage factor here. Bishop f3. d7. It's nothing. cd6. Then knight e5. If rook b8. e d6 seems to win. If d5, there's bishop d5. Guess I have to go for it. He could have just taken back on d6. Okay. Now maybe I have some chances here now. Worst case, I'll try and flag him in a dirty way. I'm teaching the kids about chess, not manners. The more you think, buddy, the happier I am. Especially when you come up with a line that gives me a decent position. So it's gonna go down to the wire, this one. Obviously right now there isn't a lot of time to... Yeah, it wasn't ideal to have to drop the knight back. But right now it comes down to hustle. Okay, there's a fork. Bishop f2, I think. We'll threaten mate. Because why not? Oh, that's why not. Damn it! Playing really sluggishly here. Okay, let's go for this pawn. You can't think! You can't be thinking. Bishop c3 was there. Okay, we'll change. And then flag. Why was that move not... Flagaruski. Oh. Okay, he was too slow. He played very well, but he was too slow. I don't know. I felt like there was a... At some point there was a glitch there. Okay. Not a good game. Not a good game. Just embarrassing, to be honest. I was outplayed. Then I was better. Then I blundered. And yeah, then I had to dirty flag him. But what can you do? Okay, so now we have Zhansaya Abdumalik from Kazakhstan. She's women's or girls junior world champion a few years ago. And think she's rated well above 2400 at least. I think almost 2500 in classical. So she's evidently a strong player. And I get my first white game. So I'm gonna go for e4 and see what she does. Because I'm not really sure what her repertoire is. And yeah, we're back to Team Polgar. And it's not a theme that all of the girls are going to be for Team Polgar and all of the guys are going to be for Team Kramnik. That's not how it's constituted. I think there's a mix. It just happens to be that way for the first couple of games. And we have a pretty traditional closed Rulopus. She has gone for bishop b7, which is a bit surprising. Which line should I choose here? I don't know. Let's go for this one and then knight c3 next. Maybe this wasn't very good. b4, knight d5, there's knight a5. b4, knight e2 maybe? Oh, there's knight a5 immediately as well. Okay, then she doesn't give me a lot of choice, because I could take on b5 and win a pawn, but I don't think it would be worth it with my scuffed pawn structure. Let's go c3. I think b3 is a reasonable option here, giving up a pawn for some. And this, I think I'm fairly happy to give up the bishop and just play on the fact that hopefully my bishop is going to be strong, and once she tries to do something about that, well, first of all, I can win a pawn with queen b4. I think d4 maybe even stronger. So if she takes, I take back. Oh, there's d5, but then knight c6. Looks very promising for me. Maybe there's rook f c8, because I was thinking rook a c8 and then ed. Maybe that would be strong. I think now after a5, I don't think she should be concerned with b4. I have a lot of good options here, like rook d1, e5. Also ed, probably forcing. I'll still ed fine, knight f5. It's not so clear. I'll go e5. Seems very logical. We'll go h3, I guess. Bring the knight around. Take on e7. Now she could take with the knight. I didn't need to give her that opportunity. But I think regardless, I'm better here. But I probably haven't made the most of my chances. Knight h4 looks suspicious to me. Put the knight in the center, and I can meet queen g5 with queen g3. I think this was at the very least an inaccuracy. We have a possible line here: queen g5, queen g3, takes, knight f5, takes, king e2, and I should be better in the rook ending. So let's see if that happens. I think she has to take now, otherwise e6 just falls. Maybe rook f8 first. Okay, and this exact line happened. Wow. Oh, that was a bad pre-move, because she could have gone rook. But now I think I'm, at the very least, much better. I'm probably winning. Rook d6, rook d7, then rook f7 and e7, and I just win. Because she has no counterplay, and I'm just running to e8 and then f8. There you go, all those arrows, and it actually happens in the game. Okay, I feel like that was was the best game so far. She played very well up to some point, but yeah, I think knight h4 was bad since I got to centralize in such a good way. Okay. Now, is this right? Yeah, I think this is right. Now we have Leon Messi. Yeah, this is the new, or the latest iteration of Chess 24. We have GM Leon Luke Mendonca from India, another very strong young player. I don't think he's quite as good as Pragg, but certainly very talented as well. And he's from Team Kramnik. So we're just gonna get it going and vary the openings, obviously. Oh, c6. He does the weird move order for the Slav. The only worry about this one is that bishop f4 is possible, but I'm sure he has something prepared here. And here the trick is knight e4, queen c2. If queen d4, there's e3. So apparently this is the way that people play. I wish I knew how to play against it, but I don't. e3, there's bishop f5. How does that work? Bishop d3. d4. dc4. Bishop e4. Bishop b4. Queen e4. Queen b2. He wins the rook, but I may trap his queen. But it probably doesn't work. Okay, let's go f3 first. I should know these lines, but unfortunately I don't. Unfortunately, the idiots in the back are not here today. So, if there are any problems with the stream quality, that's the issue. Okay, interesting. Queen a5, so I guess I'll go knight d2, and he'll probably exchange. Or maybe he will go back, thinking that knight d2 is a concession. Who knows? Yeah, let's have some fun. Castle queen side. This probably isn't very good. But then again, where's the fun in playing good moves? Knight d7, I'm not convinced about. Probably should take on d5 actually. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I was thinking if e4, then d4, fe4, e5. But now if d4, fe4, e5, I get the c4 square for my bishop, and that should give me some extra opportunities. Now I think we'll just develop. If he wants to go d4, fe4, take on d4, be my guest. I'm fine with that. But I think he would just lose way too much time with development. Oh yeah, I see the mods are working now. Is there always so much spam? Or is it just that I'm usually not paying attention to chat? I think there probably is. Anyway, now I think he has to develop with g6, but his position feels a bit fishy. I think I'll just go e5 actually. I don't think I can break through in the center, and e5, as soon as I can sort of get the king away from the file, this will just give me a positional edge. And he's spending way too much time here. Okay, now I think I'll go f4, f5. If he'd castled there, that would have been pretty much suicide due to f5. Sorry, h4, h5. Okay, so he has found an idea here, which is a little bit annoying, in that he wants to go for e6 after I move the rook, but I don't think there's anything I can do about it. So I'll just play positionally. If I give a check, are there any tricks? I think there probably are. Yeah, let's try. Probably should just go king f8. Yeah, I was hoping for knight d7 and I had some sick tricks there. But no, you should just run the king. And after I spent that much time, I'll probably have to flag another game here. Hopefully I will be winning on position by the time that I hopefully get the flag game. Queen f3. This, I think, improved my position quite a bit. Okay, this was a bit unfortunate. He exchanges. Now we'll go bishop b4, restricting his pieces. Queen f3. Let's get that bishop in there. Win a pawn. Oh, he just... Okay, I'll trade. That's fine. Bishop goes away. We'll just trade that. King c5 next. Oh, he's fighting well. Fighting really well. I guess all the young dudes do that. But now he's got no chance. I got way too much time here. I don't have auto queen. That's unfortunate. Oh well. That's fine. Okay. So I spoke about... Oh, maybe actually I think Pragg was the 4th youngest GM of all time. And Sindarov is the 3rd youngest. But now I'm playing Gukesh from India, who I think was the 2nd youngest GM. And he's still only, I think, 15 and obviously extremely talented as well. So I'm expecting another tough game here. Yeah, no more of this London stuff. Gonna give him a Benku gambit. Cause why not? Wouldn't generally recommend this gambit though. It has the unfortunate side effect of losing a pawn. But it's fine. Oh, that's a problem with castling. That's the problem with castling, yeah. Okay. But you can play another way. You can play with bishop f5, I think. Yeah, I think this is considered to be decent. Bishop g4. He's playing fast, at least. But I think forcing f3 and e4 is a pretty big win for me. So now I have ideas of knight b4, bishop a6, and also knight d7. And he's weak in both of these diagonals. Now a3. I think I'm just going to jump in still. And why did I jump in? Because I'm a moron, that's why. Okay, we'll go back. Okay, that was really dumb. That was really dumb. But it's fine though. I still have some typical Benku gambit pressure with a solid structure and a couple of half open lines. Now I went bishop a6. And rook b8. Bishop f1, huh? think I'll grab that one. We'll give a check. And this is starting to look pretty promising for me. I think bishop f1 was not good. Probably needed to do something a little bit more circumspect there. Okay, let's take on c3. I think I'm happy to play an ending here. Takes on a6. Take and then take on a3. Winning the pawn back with, I think, some initiative. bc3 immediately. I don't want to take on e2 and bring his king closer to the center, and I think I'll just keep the queens on. And I think with the structure that we have, his king is gonna be less safe than mine. But yeah, anyway, he decides to not to trade queens. I think in both cases he was worse. But I think trading may have been the lesser evil, since it feels like now I'm pretty much just invading. Probably needs this one, but at least I have knight g4. But also knight d3 looks good. Queen c3. Gradually bringing my troops closer, and eventually I should start picking up some material. King h3 seems natural to escape, but I think I'll just start grabbing now. If he takes, I have rook e2. And I'm also threatening knight f4 now, winning the queen. Now I got queen c2. His only try is maybe f5, but I got knight e5 covering everything. The other knight can go to e8 and then to f6. So it should be very safe. e5, I'll just grab. And I think his position is absolutely hopeless here. f5, I can take on e3, but let's just grab as much as possible, right? I like this game. Apart from that knight b4, knight f6 nonsense, I think it's pretty instructive and really the most you can hope for in a banker gambit game, where you just break through on the queen side, and then you win because your king is safer and your pawn structure is more solid. Okay. So next game we have is Lei Tingjie from China. She's one of the strongest female players in the world from Team Kravnik, and she's gone d4, and I will just see if I can get the same sort of model game there. Obviously I cannot, since she went for knight f3 there, declining the banker gambit, which is obviously a bit sad. Which line should I go for here? Let's go e6. Okay, she goes for g3. Yeah, I don't know what line to play here, so I'll just play something. Bishop e4. Bishop b2, I'll go bishop c5. And bishop e7. I used to play this line back in the old days. I had it against Aronian, for instance. The problem is, I don't think the line is very good. Like in general, white is a little bit better. But it's not that much. And I'm trying to get some sort of solid hedgehog type of position, and after rook c1 I think I can set it up. My knight, only problem is my knight is on c6. Should ideally be on d7 since it's a little bit more flexible there. But I think we'll get around to it eventually. a6. Now this is the hedgehog structure with these four, characterized by these four spines. So anytime you try to go past them, you will be stung by the hedgehog. Okay, she goes for exchanges, which is very very sensible, but now I think I have a relatively easy game. She's still probably slightly better, but my next moves are fairly easy. Don't know yet if knight f6, bishop d6, that works. Okay, we'll go h6 then. Not worried about sacks. Once she goes bishop d3, I will go knight f6. Now I will aim for either b5 or d5. If b5, there's knight a5, then I can go queen a8. Seems reasonable. She's playing very fast though, which is very sensible. Yeah, c6 was probably a good move. I sort of underestimated that. Yeah, and then, sorry, c5 and then c6. I missed c6 while I was busy yapping. Now I probably have to sack a pawn here since I would be very passive otherwise. I need the d5 square for the knight. Yeah, this could be a difficult game. It already is a difficult game, but it could be even more difficult. But at least I got her thinking a little bit on this one. So bishop d4 I'm not so sure about. Now I go knight d5. Oh, she still got knight a5 and then knight b7, huh? Okay, we'll go rook c7, then rook c8. Try to pick up the pawn that way. Bishop c5. Yeah, that's a good move. Oh, and bishop d6 as well. I'm missing everything now. Okay, this is massive trouble. We'll have to hustle. We'll seriously have to hustle this one. But I have hopes. Now there could be problems on the diagonal for her. Queen f3, there's knight e3. King h3, yeah, that's sensible. We'll bring the bishop around. Okay. Let's... No, I missed knight f3. I was thinking rook c1. Okay, I still have it though. I actually saw it in the other line, but I missed it here. But I think this is still winning. gf, queen g2, and there will be mate. Otherwise h5 is threatening mate. But yeah, that was a little bit fortunate. But that's what I learned early about beating very strong players, that they generally don't give up. If there are tricks, they will find them. And I think for all of my poor play in this game, my resourcefulness was very strong. But I have to say she played well. She played very fast and outplayed me up to a certain point. c5, c6 was very strong. And I only hustled a bit better at the end. Okay. I think now we have perhaps the biggest test of them all. We have Nihal Sarin from Team Kramnik. For those who play a lot or watch a lot of chess online, I'm sure you know Nihal. He's one of the strongest, and he's one of the strongest Blitz and Bullet players in the world, as well as being well over 2600 in classical, and I think he's only 16 or 17 years old, so this is going to be a tough challenge. But I think I'm up for it. I will go e4 in this game. And either he's not ready or he's doing the old gambit of waiting a little and then making his first move. No, Abdusatov is not playing. So there are a lot of strong grandmasters, but I think Nihal is the strongest. So I think I'm gonna go for another sort of closed Ruy Lopez here, as I had against Zhansaya Abdumalik earlier. And so I call this closed, while others, like after castles or castles 94 and so on, the game would be sort of more open. And this is a little bit of a weird way to play as white, but I think it's been pretty popular recently. We're trying to develop a little bit more actively with c4 and knight c3. And what should I do after knight d7? I don't know. Let's go bishop e3. Knight d4, I think I'll take. And take on d7. Otherwise, my bishop could be really poor. And here I was hoping... I just missed cb2. How can I miss that? It's like the easiest move anybody's ever missed in the history of missing moves. I would say that not only verges on being embarrassing, that is actually embarrassing. But never mind, we'll try and save it. At least there are some scenarios here where my knight could be stronger than his bishop, which is kind of hemmed in by this pawn on d4. So this could be fine. But like objectively only in terms of saving the game. To win from this position would be a tough ask, even in Blitz. But I'll try, of course. And he's spending... Oh boy. I missed this as well. Okay, now I'm probably just losing. Okay, this has been really an embarrassing game. If I'm not losing here, there's pretty much no skill involved in that. That's just luck. Because I hadn't seen any of this. Just pure disgusting luck. Bishop e5, I guess. Rook d1. Rook c8, maybe. Looks suspicious to say the least. Yeah, he's ambitious. He's not gonna go for the draw that easily. Yeah, rook b1, the problem was queen h2 and then d3. I think that was just losing on the spot, and yeah, I was really worried about rook c8. I'm probably just losing now. Queen b3, there's rook c3. Nothing to be done there. Do I have anything else than queen d7? Probably not. I think anything wins here. Rook c3 or... Yeah, rook c3, queen g4 is maybe not so clear. Maybe rook c2 is the cleanest. Queen g3 is a decisive threat. Can I do anything at all here? I don't think I can. Queen g3 and queen h2 are threats. King f1, queen f3. That's game over. Okay, I have to try and hustle him. Every day I'm hustling. I'm not gonna be successful here, I think. Let's hope he's gonna be slow today. But it doesn't seem very likely. Oh, he gave up a pawn. Trying to be as annoying as possible. Huh, tricky move. Okay, let's see him try and... Oh, rook e7 is not even still my trick there. Okay. Oh, and then I pre-moved myself out of it. Okay, good game. Good game, Nihal. But that was pure embarrassment on my side. Like, there is losing, and then there's this. Games where you don't even get going. But still, full credit to Nihal. He played a perfect game. Okay, so next game, another Indian, Vaishali from India, as I said. I think she's rated about 2400, and I believe she's the sister of Pragg, who I played earlier today. And she is competing for Team Kramnik. Obviously, Team Polgard took the lead now that Nihal won, so I'm not rooting for any team, but I'll try and make that the only only loss, so that they win. Anyway, enough talk. Let's play. Gonna go, I think, for the most double-edged line of the Nimso here, where I get these very ugly double pawns. But I do get the bishop pair and some potential initiative in the center. But it generally isn't very good for other than Blitz and perhaps Rapid. D6 is sensible. Usually you want to set up a blockade with the knights of some sort. Castles I'm not 100% sure about, because you do allow potentially annoying pin here. But it probably isn't bad, but I wouldn't have allowed it. E5 now. I think I'm just gonna close the shop. And I'll take on G6. Oh, sorry, on F6. Why not? Knight G3, there's F5. Let's go Queen D2 first, maybe? King H7, Knight G3. Maybe there's no reason not to go G4. I feel like it may be a bit blocking, but it looks good positionally. I'm thinking now the queen side is going to be fairly closed, since it's hard to break there anywhere. And it feels like I have an advantage on the king side, and thus I should be better. But obviously, considering the close nature of the position, winning the game isn't going to be easy. And so she goes for B5, which seems a bit overzealous to me. Sort of a hyper accelerated Banker Gambit, but I think it's a bit too much. I should probably have taken on b5 there. Okay, now we'll go knight h5 first. We check not to allow the knight to get here, and then I'll happily accept the pawn sack. And yeah, b5 was just too much. Now after c4, sorry, bishop a6, I will just fortify my position with c4. If takes cb5, I got two strong passers. And while her king is pretty safe, so is mine. f5, I don't think this works. But desperate times, desperate measures. So I can see where she's coming from here. She's at least trying to open up a little bit. Make my task a little bit more tricky. And bishop a6, yeah, this is very sensible. She definitely chose the best chance here. So I'll go c4. I'm opening up for queen b2, but my king can hide on g3, so I don't mind that. And if rook e8, I will oppose on the e-file. h5 I'm not worried about. I think I'll just bring the rook in. If hg, I can't go fg, but I can also consider other more forcing moves. Now, after rook e8, maybe I could have played f6 on the last move, but I think here f6 is strong. I have a mating threat with queen f5. And then queen h5. And h4, I can hide, but I think I can also just take it. And I'm usually not one for style points, but let's play for the gallery for once. Queen f2, I'll just go king h5. It's not necessary, but a few things in life are necessary, but we still do them. Okay, now she resigned because she was threatening mate there with king g6 with a discovered check, but now after the discovered check I just take the rook, and otherwise I got queen f5 and then either queen g5, queen g7, or queen h5 first and then back. Okay, good game. I think it was instructive in several ways. Probably most of all from the fact that from the way that she created counterplay there, she actually chose to give up a pawn and then two more pawns just to get some open files. And especially in faster games, if you have a cramped position, that can be the way to play. And even though I managed to navigate here, another time it might have been very successful. Okay, so now I'm playing against Sarasadat from Team Polgar. I think she's very strong. I am with at least one, probably two GM norms and several medals in World Rapid and Blitz championships for women. And I'll try and go for... Oh, she goes for knight f3. No banker gambit this time. I'll try and insist. This system isn't great though, so if she knows what she's doing, it's probably going to be considerably better here. Yeah, this is, I think, the best line that she's gone for. So she's given up the bishop pair, but she has gained a lot of influence in the center and a very solid position. I'm not sure if she played it the right way though, with knight d2 and castling. I think she should have gone for a4 earlier on, because in this case, even though I gave up the c4 square, my bishop that is unopposed on the long diagonal is pretty strong, and thus I should have a decent game. Knight d4 is a good move though. What should I do? Can I go bishop a6? Intending to trade off one of those pesky knights. I think I'll do that. Rook c1 looks obvious. Knight d7, there's still knight c6. So I don't think I can do that. So we'll probably drop off the knight on d4 and then go knight d7. I don't think I have much. I mean, I could make rating moves like rook e8, but I don't think they give me anything. So I'll just trade and go knight d7. And I do have slightly annoying pin here, and my knight can find potentially some good squares, especially c5. I think I should be doing fine. Now queen b4, I think I'll go rook b8 and then take on e4. So I don't think queen d2 was very accurate. I think now I'm slightly better. Queen a3 maybe. Knight e4. There's b4. It's queen a3, knight b3. This is interesting. I think this is the best move. Also, I got after queen a3, I got rook b3 and then queen b8. Maybe that was better. Activating as many pieces as possible. Now that her queen can go to c2 or d4, something like that, I don't think rook b3 is any good. So I got to take on a4 or e4. I think I'll go for the pawn on e4. That seems more ambitious. Now I think, wait a sec. This is a little bit tricky. Knight c5 I wanted to do, but I'm worried about knight e5. Then if bishop e2, so knight e5, c5, knight e5, bishop e2, knight c6. I'm not really sure if that's... Yeah, that's probably just bad for me. So I can take an e5 there, but then we're going to exchange a few too many pieces for my liking. So I think I'll just go to f6 instead. She can take on a7, which is bothersome, but I didn't see anything better. Yeah, it takes, rook b2. Yeah, she played those very well. Now I'm not better. Not better at all. Okay, let's trade the queens. Then I'll try and blockade the pawns later on. The pawn later on. Okay, queen d4 is sensible. I'll go rook b4. Set up a pin. Queen d3, I think I'll go queen a7. Blockading that way. Rook c3. I don't like that move for her. Seems artificial. Rook c5 now. Now I'm taking over. Okay, she's threatening rook a3. Actually, she probably isn't. Okay, I have to play faster. Rook a3, rook c4. Hoping that works. What am I doing? I thought rook c3 and I win. Damn it. That was an awful calculation error. I mean... Oh, even this works. Does it though? Or is she just panicking? No. This doesn't work. Rook a... What? What? Rook b1... Rook b1, king g7 and I win. Rook a1, queen a8 and I win. But she didn't need to do that. I mean, she could have just... What could she do? Take on c5? She could take on f7 maybe. Or queen f3, I'll take on d5. I think that works for me. Yeah, that was lucky. I'm blundering some tactics. Also, she could have tried to flag me there. Okay. So now I'm up against Yahli Sokolovsky from Israel, from Team Kramnik, and funny thing is, I don't know who that is. I feel like I should know who that is, but I actually don't know. It's probably a very strong, young, talented player, but I don't know who that is. Probably a lot less stronger than this Blitz rating. Anyway, let's get the games started. Go for the Sicilian this time. And yeah, everybody in bullet plays bishop g5 there against me, and I pre-move some bullshit like knight c6 or a6. And I lose, but fortunately my opponent here is a little bit more classy. Yeah, I do read chat sometimes. I'm just too busy blundering most of the time. If you'll forgive me for that. Okay. Okay, yeah, 15-year-old, 2400. That makes a lot of sense. Apparently I should know. I guess I should know who that is. Is Salah benched or is that bait? It goes for a bit of a strange line here. Usually you just go f3. He's benched? Wow. Okay, so here it's a little bit of a weird hybrid with queen d3 and also f3 and b3, but it's fine. Is Trent playing? And what about Rafinha? Is Rafinha playing? That's what I want to know. So that's both. That's both. Oh, Rafinha's injured. It's a shame. Okay, never mind. We'll get back to the game. It's gone for a very active choice here with pushing all his pawns on the queen side, and frankly, I think his position is probably pretty good here. But I'll try and confuse him. And don't spoil the game, by the way. I wanna watch it afterwards. Okay. I got bishop e4, then ba6. I don't know. Should be good for me. I also could go a b5 immediately, but this one is probably better. Ha, nice bait. Okay, we'll take on b5, bishop b5, now d5. I think he's gonna be in a lot of trouble here. Bishop a3 is threatened, winning the queen. And here I think I'll give a check, or bishop b4. Now knight c5 is threatened with knight b3 to come. It's looking pretty scary for him. Yeah, bishop d3, I think I'll just go knight c5. And starting to look, not only starting, but it already looks lost for him. Bishop c2 is the only move. I think queen a5 just wins pretty cleanly. Bishop c3 followed by queen a2 is the threat, and don't think there's anything you can do about it. Yeah, a4, only try. The thing is, I don't know what his next move here so I can do pretty much anything. Guess rook b8. No need to complicate things. We'll wake up and choose violence, I guess. Yeah, I think so. Bishop c3. Knight b3. Yeah, queen a4. Even after queen b3, there's queen a4. And I'm at the very least winning a lot of material. And by the way, mods, please ban anybody who starts spoiling the result of the Leeds-Liverpool game. There are 2 mods. I'm just saying on principle there shouldn't be too many. And now I'm playing Polina Shuvalova. Think she's gonna be a GM pretty soon. And think she also won the Junior Girls World Championship a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, let's try a move I haven't played so far today, which is 1c4. And g3. Sort of neo-Catalan line. Yeah, everybody seems to go for this line. What should I do? Queen c2 maybe? b6. Usually black goes c5, right? It's a bit strange. So d4, dc4 transposes into a completely acceptable line. So maybe I'll try and take first. I guess now knight d5. Maybe there's just isn't much for white at all. I don't know, to be honest. Okay. I'm gonna just try and grab a foothold in the center while I can. I'm trying to figure out if d5 is playable after c5. Probably isn't. d5, ed, ed, queen d5, knight h4, queen d7, rook d1, queen c8, knight f5. Looks very strong, no? Looks very strong indeed. So earlier when I said I don't think it's playable, I meant it's not playable for black, obviously. So I'm gonna go for this. I'm gonna do a podcast later in Norwegian, unfortunately, about the Super League. So you'll hear my thoughts then. Okay, queen d5 looks reasonable. Oh, there's some sound. Rook d1. Queen c8, knight f5, rook e8. I guess is the only chance for her. It may not lose immediately, and if it doesn't lose immediately, it may even be good for black. But it looks, I don't know, it just looks very, very strange. Maybe this is just modern chess and I missed the boat. Like, you calculate, and if it works, then it works. Okay, let's try. Knight e7, rook e7. Don't see any tactics there. Yeah, I have to play. So we're gonna go for something very, very violent. And if knight g8, knight h6. I think she probably has to take though. Don't know what else to suggest. I can't say that I necessarily see a win there. King g7 probably. She's spending a lot of time now. So possibly we will enter Flagsville later on. Okay, interesting. Obviously I don't have time to think, but I'm gonna think a little bit still. Takes. Okay, we'll take. Oh, queen f5, rook f8 maybe? Yeah, now I officially have to speed up. Okay, we're just gonna enter hustle mode then. Knight c6, queen f5, rook d7 is the threat, and also queen f6. Okay, rook d1. Let's go, let's go. Knight a6 looks wrong. I think now she has too few pieces in defense. I could be wrong. Hoping for rook d8. Okay, and now there's mate. I probably had some quicker mate there. Oh boy. Oh boy. That was what you call a mess. A total mess. But, you know, that's the way it is sometimes. It's strange to me that there wasn't anything decisive there. If there wasn't, maybe I just missed it. Okay. So now we have from Team Kremnik, Jonas Bjerre, the youngest Scandinavian Grandmaster at this point. And a very talented young player who I actually played an exhibition match with him a few years ago, and I won both games, but only after a serious fight. So this won't be easy for sure. Okay, now don't know if he always plays the Sicilian, but now that he gave me a second chance to go for e4, I'm gonna do it. What should I do here? Guess I should play something positional. against the youth. Although Bjerre is a good positional player. But Castles is not the most played move, but I'm sure he has ideas because Bjerre is generally well versed theoretically. The idea here is to castle long. So while the line is positional, it does have some sting. And then I'll take 95. I'll pretty much force a trade since I was threatening 97. And then queen d6. Now here, queen c4. I think I saw even trick played like this once. I think I did. I may very well not have. And this probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? The idea must be to go like queen b3 and then knight c4, I would guess. In general, with this pawn structure, my prospects in the endgame are decent, so I think trades are good for me. But I'm not loving my position here at all. Yeah, I've actually played this pretty poorly. Don't know what I should even do here. Bishop g4, knight d5, knight c5, queen d5, rook b8. He evidently knew this line better than I did. Oh well. It's the usual. Try and hustle him. Plan A is obviously to outplay him, but hustling him is obviously a very decent plan B. So I'm not complaining that much. Rook b8, and now I'll try and go f4 if ef4, rook f4, bishop f6. I'm gonna do what Nihal did against me and just chop that bishop off and live with the consequences. So I'll take knight f3, I have to challenge that bishop. And I'm hoping that eventually bishop f6 I'm not so sure about, since I get knight d4 and I'm getting all my moves with tempo now. And now I think I'm doing fairly well. Queen d4, rook d8. Okay, I guess I'll just take with the rook. And if you could go rook e8 and then d8, then rook e5, you would actually trap my queen. But fortunately for me, I'll be able to make a move every second time. It's generally how chess works. Now I think I'm just gonna trade off into an ending where I should be somewhat better with the bishop against knight and a nice majority on the king side. I'll go a4 and then I'll create a pass pawn pretty soon, I think. So a4, I guess, and then we'll get running as quickly as possible. Bishop f3, f5, rook d1. I have to play faster though. I'm intending AP and then rook d5 maybe. Yeah, I changed plans. Now I'm gonna try and see if I'm slightly better in this rook ending instead, which I may or may not be. King d2 next. If I can get king d3, sorry, king e3, I think I'm better. Also here, he has this one, which is a bit annoying, but oh, he still has rook e5. I missed that. He didn't see it, fortunately. We'll go g4 then. Now I'm winning. Yeah, I needed to see rook e5, and then he would have had great drawing chances, and I would have had to flags with him. but now it's just hopeless. Since he has little to no counterplay. Rook d4, and then I'll just start pushing my pawns. Don't even care, just pushing pawns. Push. Push some more. King d4. Push. Check. Win another pawn. King up. Easy peasy. Now I can even... Okay. Good stuff. Once again, very solid game from my opponent. Just one mistake there. Otherwise, it was equal. Okay, so we have from Volodar Murzin, who I think is one of the youngest players here, like 13 or 14. From Team Polgar, who are currently leading 1-0. And he's seriously disrespected me here by playing d3. Either that or his mouse slip, but I think he's just disrespected me. And he needs to be punished. Like, you can't play d3 on move 1 and expect to get away with it. So is he gonna admit his mistake and play? No, it's just gonna play. It's just gonna play a Blitz. Tempo up. Let me tell you, the Blitz isn't that great, even the tempo up. Maybe now knight g5 and c4 is decent. Not sure I should have allowed that, but never mind. And yeah, young players are usually a little less dogmatic than they get when they get older. So he obviously goes for, he doesn't like stick to some pre-thought program with c3 and so on. But it surprises me that didn't go for c4, because this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So now he's just spent time messing around. He still has a decent position. Should go e4 in one of the next moves. And he still has a decent version of the Blitz, but could have been better. e4, I may go d4. I'm not convinced. cd, knight b4. d4 is hanging. d3 is hanging. Yeah, why not? I think I'm winning a pawn. b5, dc wins a pawn for sure. And yeah, cd, knight b4. I don't think he can save everything. So he does the sensible thing and just castles. Or is that the sensible thing? Maybe now I can take on d4 first. Maybe it wasn't that sensible. And I still haven't castled, which generally is not a great thing, but it does mean I have a little more flexibility. Now I can either castle king side or queen side depending on the circumstances. So yeah. Yeah, he, like a true caveman, he just goes e5. And that's what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe in this case I might want to castle queenside later on? Question mark? Maybe? I don't know. I'll castle kingside. Knight g5 looks like the most obvious move. Or bishop a3. We'll obviously just fortify this one. And Volodar seriously needs to speed up, or he's gonna have no chance. But I think I'm a fairly solid 2 pawns up, and I have some strong pieces as well, so should be able to win this game without doing anything too dirty. Knight h2, threatening, no, not even threatening knight. Knight f6 actually. We'll go bishop e7 though, overprotecting the d5 square. I guess we'll keep on overprotecting, this time e5. He's gonna go bishop h3. I'll just drop back with the queen. Probably to e8. It's a little bit more flexible. Knight h6 obviously doesn't work. I just take and I'm protecting on f5. Queen g6 now. Okay, he got this one. I think I'll just take on e4 now. Rook f7, d3 is a huge threat, which he didn't really respond to, because he had bishop f5, which I'd missed. But it's fine. I'll just go queen d6 and then g6. And then rook f2. A little bit shorter. This, okay. Scuffed arrows. Queen d4. Centralizing. Galvanizing. Rook d3, I have queen e4. And he won on time. No, he lost on time, yeah. But obviously the position is more than winning at this point. Okay. So we have Olga Badelka from Belarus. Strong IM, I think 2400 plus, and believe she's still a junior? Question mark. Anyway, let's go e5 for once. I've mainly been playing Sicilian, but oh, okay. Somebody had to. Somebody had to. Somebody had to. Okay, props. And she is playing for Team Kramnik, and they desperately need a win. And she goes ahead and does this. Okay, never mind. Never mind. We'll just play no castling chess. I'm sure, yeah, she plays for Team Kramnik, who is a proponent of the no, I'm not going to repeat moves. Just once. Now I'm going to punish you. I'm not going to even give you a free draw. Like, who's going to watch that? Yeah, so now she has to play. She has to play solidly. Bishop b4, bishop c5 maybe. Just gonna play f6, I guess. Bishop e6. Develop normally. Not care too much about the non-castling thing. Maybe I could do something more violent, but like if I can't castle myself, it's sort of more difficult to to mate quickly. But I gotta give her props. She has the one chance to play against me, and she goes ahead and Bongclouds. So it's both very silly and a little bit legendary at the same time. I think would be a fair assessment. H4. Maybe I'll just go run the other way. just for fun. King d7 and then king c8. And just artificially castling queenside. You normally don't do that. I think Vlad and Vishy are playing a no castling chess match later this year, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's pretty difficult to play because you gotta. It's a little bit like playing Fischer Random Chess 960, in that if you just have a mindset that you try to make it a normal chess game as soon as possible, you're probably gonna lose because you aren't flexible enough to adjust to the new circumstances. Because truth be told, it's very different from normal chess, especially some of the positions, and it's very interesting training, I think, in general. Now we'll go e4 next, and I certainly find it very difficult to play. To play Fischer, not enough to lose as poorly as I did to Wesley, even though he's strong at the format. Little tactic here, but still, yeah, it's hard to play, and non-castling chess, I can imagine, is even tougher. Go knight e5, ideas of e3 after c4. Okay, let's go queen c6. Try and be solid. Little trap, bishop b5. There was queen b5, rook a1, and rook. Oh, way too many arrows now. Way too many arrows. As I said, I just drew my first arrow ever earlier today, so I'm not used to this. e3, I think. Queen f3. Oh, this wasn't so great because she has the trump in the ending here. Okay, this I think just loses. Rook a4, keeping it simple. We'll go and take another pawn. And she is playing fast, but I think at this point to no avail. I have ideas like queen h5 and then f4 winning. The arrows are going astray. The arrows are absolutely wild at this point. I'm not a good marksman. Okay. So again, from Team Polgard, this is Vincent Keymer. Definitely one of the strongest players here. I played him in Classical before and struggled a lot to beat him in the Grenke Classic in 2019, and considering that Vincent is only 16, 17 years old, he has improved since then. He has the amazing Peter Leko as a trainer as well, which certainly helps you get educated in the ways of chess. So without any further ado, let's get the game going. And knight c3. I'm gonna go for the same weird Nimzo line that I had earlier today against Vaishali. And f3. Vincent is generally very well versed theoretically, but unless he had an emergency session with Leko earlier today, I'm not sure he would know this line. And what was I going to say? yeah, it's not a line most people play. But it's fine. Okay, he's positional. He's gone h6 before before castling. Well, he's not going to castle clearly after the move h6. So then I would just go g4, g5. But yeah, it's a sign of a classical player. What should I do now? Knight g3 probably, just develop. I think he still probably shouldn't castle kingside. Because the pawn, even without g5, g4, g5, there still will be problems based on the fact that his what was I saying? I forgot how to speak. It's a bit worrying. Shouldn't happen for another 80 years or so. Okay, let's... I don't want to go d5. DC takes bishop e2, bring the knight around. Is that an option? Let's try it. Just to do something a little bit different. This looks extremely anti-positional. But I think there is some point to it, since I will get the knight to e3 and then d5, but yeah, probably not very convincing. King f2, rook d1. Ah, this wasn't very strong. This was probably pretty weak. King b7 now. Yeah, I just messed this up. Why did I even go? Rook d1. Yeah, this is bad. And I don't have time either. Okay, it's even worse. I gotta go f4 now. Try and create some counterplay with my bishops. But this has been a typical Vincent game. He plays very classically, very positionally, and he's made me look like a fool so far. There's no two ways about it. Bishop h5. Don't know what I'm doing, but just putting pieces on squares. That's about it. a4, but now you can create a pass pawn later on. Let's go h4, maybe g4, bishop e2. Now bishop f3. Probably will play h5, but then I have bishop g5, so maybe that's not ideal for him. He wants bishop c2 probably. Yeah, we'll push g4. Try and cement this as a weakness. But I'm getting seriously short of time here. Okay, I'm not sure this does much for him. Next I want... Okay, I'll go h5. Because what else, right? Knight f7 now. Yeah, rook a2. I have to try and at least bother him a little bit. Bishop e2 next. Attack f6. My position is pretty much lost. Oh, he maneuvers very nicely. But I'm not quite done yet. This one I'm not so sure about. Now he blundered. No, he didn't actually. I have to flag him. Flagsville coming. Okay, takes. Takes. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go back. Oh! Threefold. A threefold. Wow. What can you do? I mean, that was a good result for me. And it was a good result for Team Polgar as well. So maybe it was just being a team player there. Because he secured them 1.5, a half lead. Okay. Let's go for Yip chess. Let's hope she doesn't have the yips today. Carissa Yip. I think she's still a junior as well from the United States of America. Let's get it going. Schade, so knapp. Yeah. Vincent is too classical. He's not enough of a hustler. Not enough of a hustler to pull that off. But his jazz understanding, as you could see from that game, is sublime. Let's go c3 this time, a little bit more classical. It's becoming a theme tournament in closed ruins. And here, one of the points of this line is that you can get to c2 in one go, so you don't give black time for knight a5, and then c5 if the bishop was here on b3. I played this as black and white a bunch myself. It's very interesting because there are so many positional plans for both sides. I'm gonna turn the light up a little bit. Oh, I'm getting blinded. A4 maybe. Before I go A5. Okay, this is an old favorite of mine as well. The old pinning the knight and then bring the knight to E3. Generally isn't great, but I do get some active pieces, so it's not too bad. Queen D7, she's playing very decently so far. Probably knight D8 is reasonable now. Bringing the knight to E6 later on. I had some similar game against Murzin back in 2006. And then at some point I just went berserk and went G4, G5. I won the game, but truth be told, it was pretty unclear along the way and it wasn't obvious that I should have. Knight E7. I'm a little less sure about because I'm not sure where the knight is going from there. I would have preferred to see knight D8 and then knight E6 there. I guess this one is reasonable, but still the knight on E7 feels a bit funky. I think I'll go queen C2. I'm not worried about G5, so that's a pretty big weakening of her position. Now after knight f4, I think I will go bishop to G3. D5 doesn't feel entirely right to me. I don't think she's ready for this. And besides, once she takes an E4, I think the position is only going to open up for my pieces. I think I'll go H3 for the moment, intending knight G4. And once again, the knight on E7 is, I think, very much in the way, both from defending e5, and also now the queen doesn't protect f7, and this means that there are many tactical lines that could potentially work for me. Now I think knight g5 should be, knight g4 should be fairly strong. I don't see a comfortable way to deal with the threat on e5. If if queen d6, I didn't actually consider that move, but I think d4 must be strong. ed4, there's e5, and if d4, I got bishop f7 and then knight e5, and also knight e5 immediately should win. So I think I should be winning now. Yeah, knight e5, this should probably be this is probably the cleanest, yeah. Bishop e5, d5 wins a piece, and otherwise also a knight e5 obviously wins. Knight ed5, I just go bishop f4 and then take an f7, and here this is carnage as well. Knight f7 with a nasty discovery, and now here I'll just take on b5, then rook a7, evolving all my guys into the play, and then later I can take on e4, knight e5, and a bunch of material up with a winning position. Yeah, I think like the only conceptual mistake she made there in that game was knight e7. I think it's fairly instructive actually. That in itself, moving the knight is reasonable, both preparing potential d5 and also a potential c5, but probably she should have spent 2 moves rather than 1 to put it on a Bjerre square. Okay, whom do we have now? We have oh, is it opening? Yeah, we have Gunay Mammadzada from Team Polgar. I think she's yeah, pretty decent IM from Azerbaijan, and think the first board of Azerbaijan's women's team, and I think she is still a junior or close to it, and as far as I know, a pretty aggressive player. Let's play an old banter blitz favorite of mine, the old Scandinavian. And yeah, don't pay too much attention to the ratings in general. A lot of them are provisional and they don't make any sense. Yeah, h3 I guess is a reasonable move. I've seen some people play that. Guess I should go bishop f5 to develop, and knight d7. And I'm not sure I like castling kingside there. It feels a little bit too soft. So now I get easy development, and then she's probably slightly better, but I have what I wanted from the opening, which is a very solid and playable position. Guess I'll go rook e8 and then rook d8 later on maybe. But in general, she has a slight space advantage, but I don't think she can use it for much. Meanwhile, my position is very solid. Bishop f4, I can go queen b4, so I'm not really worried about my queen here. I also don't really think any knight f7 and g4 is going to work. Obviously, I could be eating my words later. You always have to prepare for that possibility. I think I'll trade for now. Don't love the bishop coming to e5, but I think it's safe. Makes mare for the king. Yeah, queen f5. Maybe rook d7 next move to make room for the queen on d8. Like a little mini plan here. Then bishop d6, challenging the bishop. Seems reasonable. Also potentially rook d8. And again, I don't think she has any tactics here with bishop e6. So I think she's... maybe there are some tactics here, like queen d8, d5, and knight d5, knight d5, cd5, bishop a4, with winning the exchange. So even in apparently very dry positions, there are sometimes tactics. Now I will go bishop g6, and I think that's in general not undesirable, and there are ideas of bishop h5 potentially forcing g4. Obviously now that she's gone rook d2, that's not an issue anymore. Okay, let's go queen d8. Continue with the plan. Then bishop d6. If bishop d f6, I'm pretty happy to trade and play an ending. Guess. Oh, this is a tricky move order. Thing is, I would love to go bishop d3 and then take on e5. But bishop e5, d5, bishop d3, I guess ef6 is an issue. And if bishop d3, she can take on f6 and force an equal ending. Okay, so she did play this well. Okay, she took immediately, so I could have spared myself that whole speech. Okay, let's simplify the game. Oh, she doesn't even trade. Okay. It's interesting. I'm not sure it's good. I think my position is very solid here. And the knight on d6 in itself is not gonna do any damage. But I have to play faster. Okay, knight c. Let's bring the knight to b5. Knight c4 comes, logical. Queen c5. Okay, she trades now. fe3. Yeah, fe3 is probably good. She's playing this well. She's playing this really well. b6. Okay, time is becoming a serious issue here as well. c5. Let's try and bring the knight around. Okay, let's instead go for f6. b4 I'll take. This looks reasonable, bringing the knight to d4, but obviously time is more than a serious issue at this point. Okay. I'll have to hustle her. Not taking a draw, even though I'm low on time with no advantage. Okay, knight to b4. Let's go. Take the rook. She's collapsing. I'm collapsing a bit as well. Okay, let's go. Yeah, there we have checkmate. Okay. Oh well. That wasn't very good. That was just a little more hustle, as I talked about earlier. The scramble was decent. Not penguin level, but very decent. But before that, she played a great game, and she was better, and deserved more than an unceremonious flag, to be fair. Okay, now we have the second American in 3 games, and a third American is coming up after this. So they're all bunched together. And this is Christopher Yoo. Very young still, I think, 14, 15. And very talented I am. I think almost GM strength. Just needs a few more tournaments when things open up. And I'm gonna be, again, overconfident and play some risky stuff in the opening. Come on, dude. Go bishop e3. Don't play it safe. I don't want to see... Oh! Okay. Is this a move? It's a move after a6. But is it really a move here? Okay. We'll go bishop g7. It's fine. Okay, how about knight c6? Seems logical. He castles immediately. Queen a5 maybe? Guessing he can go queen b5. Then I'll have to take. Should be fine in that ending though. Otherwise I'm gaining a pretty nice tempo attacking his bishop on g5. Yeah, so queen b5, knight b5, castles. Don't see the problem there. Bishop b5, bishop d7. And sorry for repeating myself, but don't see the problem. And he even gives me the bishop pair, which I think is a tad too generous. He does have nice centralization here, but I think I'm in general slightly better now. Just again on account of the bishop pair and some more pawns in the center than he has. Okay, that's interesting. Is it any good? My instinct says no. So we'll take ed6, I'm sure. I don't think this should work at all. But I've been wrong before. Should I take on d4? Or should I just go knight f5? I think I'll take on d4. Rook e7, king d8. And the important thing is here, if he takes the bishop, then I got knight f5 with a fork. What's this? What you doing there? What you doing there, Chris? This doesn't work at all. Now king e7. Got rook d8. I got a piece up. Everything is pretty good. Knight c5. Let's run with the king. And he fights on, which I guess is reasonable, but it's a lost cause. Now I'm activating my pieces a bit as well. Actually, activating them a lot. Let's go here. G3. We'll go knight f5. Rook e8. Okay, found a good plan. Let's go rook a1 to meet c4 with rook a2. Now let's trade. Take it. Okay, so he's clearly in hustle mode now, which is fair. Like, I try and flag people. Why shouldn't they try and flag me? But don't think it's gonna be very close. Knight f3 now. Oh, I didn't see that this was hanging. That was unfortunate. That was actually very unfortunate. Okay, we'll take it. Here, knight f1, c5, knight g3, c6, king f6. Yeah, that works. That works just in time. Just in time, people. Knight f5 and knight e7. And the pawn ending is winning, so promoting to a knight didn't actually help. Show a little bit of class. Going a5 first. And yeah, it's not going to be close here. Run, run. Queen, run, run. Another queen. Oh, he's queening with check? That was extremely unnecessary. Now it's actually getting to a scramble. But he lost on time right before I could mate him, so it's fine. Sure. Yeah, he fought well. Love to see that people are trying to hustle against me. It's not only the other way around. Okay, so we got 2 more games in the competition, and by winning this one, I've ensured that Team Polgar is gonna win. Because I got 1 game against each left. And the first one is against I wonder Liang from the United States. He's already pretty experienced, has played in US championships, and I believe is still junior, and now we have the right scene. And I mouse slipped. I'm cracking. This is not disrespect. I'm just cracking. Okay. Okay. I guess we'll go this way. He's just gonna play a regular Sicilian type of position. Alright. A4, knight c4, I guess. There are many good setups here for black in general, but we have a playable position, and for Blitz this is not bad. As they say in Blitz, playable is viable. So e5, de, knight e5, knight e5, bishop a8, bishop g4, bishop f3, knight f3, knight f3. Does he have enough compensation there? It's hard to say. Let's go for it. Just for fun. Or not just for fun, but partly for fun. Hoping to get king g2 and then h3. But he clearly has decent compensation here, even if he only plays sort of slowly and positionally here. Queen. Oh, this is a blunder though, isn't it? Queen d7, because now I got knight e5. With a little tactical trick, I get to trade off some pieces. I think I can just take. Yeah, I think I'll just take. And then queen e2. I don't see any compensation. Rook f1, queen h4, 5, there. Queen h5, there's h4. Yeah, you'll have to forgive me, people. Oh, I just realized it. He has a devilish trick planned. So the point is king g2, queen h5 is threatening queen h2 mate, and well, not mate, but with some destruction. And then if h3 has knight e3, opening up against the queen and winning the queen. So I can't do that. So I have to probably force the bishop away instead. And that makes matters considerably more difficult. Queen e4. There's okay, I guess I'll go king g2 now, but this became pretty complicated. f3 and bishop f4. I gave back a pawn, but I am consolidating now. The only problem is I spend a lot of time yapping, so I'll need to be pretty quick in order to convert this game. Okay, rook d1. We'll take it. I'm not worried about that pass pawn. I think I will gobble it up with rook d1, if queen d7 for instance. So you should probably trade, but that ending should be fairly simple for me. So he just gives up the pawn, but yeah, I don't think he has a lot of chances here, and I still have half a minute. So I should be fine. Knight g6, probably the best way to fight. Okay. We'll need to focus here a bit. He found the right setup here to be pretty solid. And I'm not finding the right setup. But I think it's still fine. We'll go back. I'm catching up on time though, so that's the good thing. Knight, king goes over. Knight f3 is possible, but he didn't see that. Now rook d7. It's not possible. Damn it, I blundered! Threw everything away. Now I need a Herculean effort in order to possibly save this game. Oh, there's not even a perpetual. This guy is just straight up out hustling me. Oh, he's giving me a check. That's nasty. Ah! So annoying. Okay. I have to say though that after giving up the exchange for probably a bit too little compensation, he played well, and he found a very good way to fight there, and eventually out hustled me in a big way. So huge props to him. As you've seen earlier today, that's how I win a lot of my games. It's only fair that he does so as well. Okay, so we have last, I think, official game of the day against Anna Musicuk, who I think is one of the coaches of the challengers teams, and she's also been one of the very best female players of the last 10 years, and has several World Championship titles in Rapid and Blitz. So let's get going. We'll continue with the Ruy Lopez. There will be a couple of unofficial games after this, so the show will not be stopped immediately, but this is the last game of the competition. But I think Team Polgar has already won it, so she plays this a bit trickily. I'll go h3. I'm waiting for b5 before determining where I go with my knight, because I may want to go to b3 there later on. Now I probably have to go to f1, since she did a good job of waiting sufficiently. And like usually when d5 comes, you would go b4 and then knight to b3. But obviously here with the knight on f1, such a plan would be more time consuming and then probably less successful. So I'll go a4 instead, as I did in one of the other games. Then I need to meet b4 with a5. Now here, I think knight g3. She can go d4 at any point. She can also exchange on e4, probably take with the knight and then the pawn, and play a queenless middle game, which I think could be slightly better for white. At least I'm clinging to the hope. So b4 is logical, but now she is opening up for a possible bishop a4, so it's a little bit double-edged. Okay, d4, let's go knight e4. If she trades everything, I think I'm fine with that. I believe a5 is probably a bigger strength than a weakness in the ending. Now, so normally you would go rook d1 without thinking. What could be more natural than that? But I do think maybe bishop d1 is more precise, because I want to put the bishop on e2 and pressurize a6. And also, if I'd gone rook d1, there could have followed rook d8. And then if bishop d3, there's bishop c4. And additionally, if I trade on d8, it's not so easy to bring the bishop to d3. And if bishop e3, then she could trade on d1. So I think maybe it's more clever to keep both rooks on the board. Now, yeah, rook d8, I follow my plan and go bishop e2, obviously. I don't think I have much here at all, but the possibilities that something will go wrong, I think, are slightly higher for black, since if I lose the a5 pawn, that's bad for me, but if she loses a6, then it's a disaster. So Murzin is a very well-educated player, and she immediately spots a nice positional plan here, which is to go knight c8 to d6. And that probably equalizes the game more or less, but maybe not completely. I still have some ideas like rook b1 and then knight b3. I should have gone rook b1 immediately maybe, but I can still protect c3, so it's fine. Okay, let's bring the king a little bit closer. Can never hurt. If f5, I go king e1. f4, I'm not so sure about. It may just cement e5 as a backwards pawn. And c6 I don't like at all. I think she is overprotecting the knight on b5, but she is leaving a pretty glaring weakness on the b6 square, which I'm now using to invade. I'm sacking the pawn on c3, but I don't care about that since I want to invade. Now rook d7, I should be winning. King f6, there's bishop d8, and here there's a little trick with bishop c7, rook bishop g7, I have rook g7, and then take on e5 and c3, and then the bishops will decide. And as I talked about on another stream, bishops on adjacent diagonals are very strong because they cover a lot of squares. Let's just do all of them, right? And this one, this. Okay, sure. Okay, so to finish up today, we will have 2 games against, I think, also coaches of the challengers, but these are not sort of official games of this particular challenge. But they are streaming as well, I'm sure. The links are somewhere to be found. Again, at least this is Surya Ganguly, very strong grandmaster, 2650 plus, and many several times successful second of Anand in World Championship matches, and a very strong theoretician. So I think I'm going to play something a bit offbeat here in the modern. Bishop e3. Okay, we'll go a6. Oh, a4. Sure. Maybe after a4 I can go with knight f6 and transpose to a Pearce type of position. I had something similar against somebody like Knightage, maybe? Played something similar? One thing I'm sure about is that Ganguly knows what he's doing in the opening, so he probably knows this better than I do. Okay, now I'll put the knight on b4. That's one of the ideas of going a6. That the knight, and then a4, that the knight can sit on b4 without being kicked with a3. Now I guess I'll go e6. Try and break the center open. I'm not sure I love his last 2 moves. He gave me a target to latch onto on d5. And a5 may just be a bit too slow. Rook on a4 I think is also not great. I think I'll take the pawn. e5, I'll go knight e8. Yeah, this looks good. Bishop d7 now. Yeah, here he's threatening bishop b6. I could start calculating lines like rook c8, bishop b6, bishop c3, queen g5, but I just want to sack the exchange instead. Because I think with his backwards development and weirdly developed pieces in general, I think I must have great compensation here. And if it doesn't take the exchange, I'm going to go rook c8 and knight c4. So regardless of what he does here, I think he doesn't have it easy. Okay, we'll take back, obviously. And there's no really convenient response here. After knight f3, he had to deal with bishop c6. Queen f3, obviously there was bishop c6. And rook h2, there was at least bishop e5. So he had a difficult choice there. Now, after knight c4, I think he may consider, yeah, that's what I thought he would do, just chop that one off. And, wow, he continues to play very concretely here. But I don't like bishop g5, actually. I can just go f5, activate the rook, and stuff should start falling here pretty soon. I think d6, b2, f3, they're all pretty bad weaknesses. I'll go queen b8, attacking both d6 and b2, and also threatening rook e7 followed by queen h2. I need to know when to let go of the right click. That's where the problems with the arrows stem from. But now I think this will open up the position, and he shouldn't be able to survive for very long here, I think. Take on f3, and just everything is collapsing at this point. So Surya has the problem that he's probably trying to entertain his stream as well here, and as you can see in some of my games, that particular multitasking can go both ways. I think rook c3 wins. There's queen f4, queen b1, knight c1, h6. Looks safe. Also, I can just keep it very simple, actually. Just take and take. And then take again. And he should have next to no chances here. Unless I blunder mate. Oh boy. Seriously. Seriously. Did I just find the only way to blunder this? I think I may have. I think I may have. Okay, that is annoying. Knight g7, he has bishop f6. Okay, he has it here as well. Okay, sure. Try and flag him then. Problem is I have to keep track of so many possible checks here. It's pretty hard. Oh, he has queen c5. Damn it, damn it, damn it. And he's pretty fast as well. Oh. Is he joking? Is he joking? I don't know. I don't know. Is he choking? Yes! He choked! That was a nice flag. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. He should have won that one. What can I say? This has not been very educational. Unless you want to learn how to dirty flag, then it's been at least somewhat educational. Okay, last game of the day against Arthur Kogan and David Martinez. Apparently they're doing a combined Spanish stream. And at least Arthur is one of the coaches for the challengers. He's has a very good reputation as a coach, for sure. Okay. Anyway, we got d4. Let's go. Last game of the day. And we're gonna have another Benku gambit. Oh, queen c2. What do you do here? I think you take. Then for some reason... Is e5 strong here? Is that what why he goes knight f3? No, he was just trying to confuse me. It looks a bit weird that he, instead of taking the pawn on a6, he's just given taking on b5 and taking on a6. He's just it's just chosen not to win the pawn, but his argument is that he has quicker development and that he's not had to give up any pawns on... he's not had to give up any... what am I saying? He's not given me an extra open file on the A file. And now, I think he can go, for instance, b3 here. Yeah, I'm way too tired at this point. It's probably a good thing that this is the last game. I mean, I lost my speech a couple of hours ago. Since then, it's been a pretty incoherent rambling and dirty flagging. That's been the whole content, to be honest. What do I do here? Bishop g4. Bishop g4, there's knight d2, and I kind of go knight d7 then. Knight d7, he has e5, which is annoying me. Maybe knight b6 just wasn't a good move. Okay, we'll go knight e8 to c7 instead, but I don't love it. But at least now I'm preparing in case of e5 to go knight c7 and put pressure on this one. Yeah, now I think I'll have to go bishop b7, which looks awful, into this pawn, but at least I'm preventing e5 for the moment. And I may have plans of going queen d7 and then f5, breaking everything open. So it's not like my position is devoid of ideas. Even if I'm what was I saying? Okay, so he wants a5, driving the knight away, and then e5. Can I do too much about that? Probably not. I can play a5 myself, but then I give up the b5 square. I think I'll go bishop a6 instead. Okay, we'll chop it off. It's fine by me. f5 still doesn't work. Let's try and activate this knight then. I got ideas of c4 and also knight b4. Spending too much time. This is gonna be a scramble, I think, eventually. Let's go knight a8 and then knight c7. I think that was a better square than c8. He's sacking a pawn. Okay. I'll gladly capture your pawn, sir. Knight c7. He does have compensation, but I don't think I'm worse. We'll take it. Yeah, I think he's just doing way too much at this point. This doesn't work at all. Queen f5. Protecting everything. Well. I'll just keep grabbing pawns. It's a little bit like my game against Gukesh in that sense. Okay, we'll just trade. Queen g4 and then rook d2. Knight d5, and we're 3 pawns up and c pawn is running. So that's okay, we'll go h5. I don't want to give him even gonna give him a check. Okay, rook c8. Knight c3 to a2 or e2. Take it. Okay, he lost some time, but obviously that was more than enough to win. Okay, people, I'm done. I had 5.5 hours of commentary today and 2.5 hours of Banter Blitz. I think some of the games were really of good quality. I think a lot of the young people, they played really well, and some even hustled pretty well. Anyway, so are any of my mods here? Who's streaming? Who can I possibly raid? Because last time I didn't raid, and I ended up raiding. I ended up rebooting the stream to raid Penguin, which in itself was fine. It's just that rebooting the stream to raid is unprofessional, to say the least. Are the Chess Bros streaming? Somebody mentioned them. There are just a bunch of names here. Okay, now there's just spam. Spam, spam, spam. Okay, so we're gonna give one of our mods, I think, a lot more than she can handle. One of our 2 mods, or maybe there are 3. Okay, good luck, Alan.